Hello and welcome back to The Buzz with Bernadette. Well, today we're doing a nighttime edition from a different location, and it's the first time that we are recording using my Canon camera. So we're always trying to upgrade here, get better, do better, and try different things, because that's what we do. That's what we do here at The Buzz. We improve all the time. So I'm sitting comfy on the couch in the cinema with my little dogs around me, so there may be some interruptions, but we will try and get through them nonetheless. So there's so much to talk about in this episode, because I've got to say, like, August, September, super busy months for me. Super busy, but we'll get to that one thing at a time. One little segment at a time. So first off, we are going to start off with what's on this week. Perth has been absolutely buzzing as usual, and I'm pretty proud. You know, I love Perth. I'm so patriotic. I love. We've had so many events on, so many new things. We've even got a new true crime series dropping soon on Stan, I believe. And it's the Claremont murders. This is one to watch out for, I'm sure. I can't wait to see this one, especially because I was growing up in the Claremont area at that time. It was a pretty scary time to be going out, and with all that surrounding the suburb of Claremont at that time. I remember we used to go to Bellissimo for dinner on a Thursday night, and then we used to go to the Claremont Hotel after for a drink, and then we'd end up at Club Bayview for, a late night in Perth, which is not very late, but I think they used to close at 12. And that was all around the time that the Claremont murders happened. So I'm going to be looking forward to getting a further insight on that, when the series comes out. So anyway, let's start off with, we had the Claremont Quarter Summer Soiree, obviously down at Claremont Quarter. It was a fantastic fashion event. We love our fashion here in Perth. And we had the beautiful Jessica Gomes coming to visit and do an appearance and for the fashion show, which was hosted by Cassie Silver, and it was actually an amazing fashion show. We had Camilla, we had Rebecca Valance featured in the fashion show, and it was just gorgeous. We had beautiful food up there upstairs at Claremont Quarter, and it was open by VIP invitation, and the public were able to buy tickets as well. So that was a beautiful way to start off, and we started off with some private drinks with Jessica at the Claremont Hotel, and finished it off at Claremont Quarter. And it's a great location. It's a beautiful location for fashion parades upstairs there. It's just perfect. As usual, Perth brought the glamour and the stunning food, the amazing vibes, and it felt like something out of Fashion Week, to be honest, which was very, very well done. Now, this year is... this year is a year where I'm just, open to opportunities, manifesting, and not saying no to things that may have made me uncomfortable in the past, like things that I may have gone, I don't know if I would have taken that on this time last year or the year before. Absolutely not. So, anyway, been getting opportunities this year and welcoming them with open arms, and one of them in which was to host the UWA basketball game. Now, I know, if you know me, I'm not really a sports girly. I don't really know much about sports, And so when a job opportunity presented itself in the form of a courtside announcer or presenter, I was like, I don't know if that's something I would normally do. And you know how it sort of like takes you aback at first. And then I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to do it. And I did it. And I've got to say, I would do it again, and I would look forward to doing it again. It was out of my comfort zone at first, but I am a quick learner, and I must say, and because it was the Pride round of basketball, it was UWA versus Adelaide, because it was the Pride round, they had a DJ, the music was pumping, the vibe was amazing, it was so good, and yeah, I was just like dancing the whole time I was announcing. It was really amazing. So I got to do that with Alexander Sakosta. He did the first game, or actually we shared the roles, but he had to leave early. So he did the first game majority of, and I did the majority of the second game, but so much fun. And honestly, I would do it again. And yeah, you know what? First half an hour, I was a little bit like, a little bit scared, a little bit, nervous. But the energy of the crowd in the second game and the energy of the players and everything like that was a vibe. It was really good. And I mean, from zero basketball knowledge to court announcer, I can say I survived, and I can say I will do it again. I absolutely loved it, to be honest. Okay, now we're going to get down to, that I'm going to say, I've always been an Apple girl. I had my little journey where I moved over to Samsung. I tried their fold phone because I've always been someone that says, if a phone comes out and it's as big as an iPad, I will take it. Like I will love it. I just want the bigger the screen, the better. I want to be able to do emails on there. I want to be able to see my editing. I want to be able to do videos and stuff like that. So I thought, excuse me, I thought when the big fold came out, I thought that's it. I'm leaving Apple. I'm going to Samsung. Anyway, but I didn't get the new fold. I got the fold before. And and it was like, when you actually folded it back in, it was kind of quite skinny and hard to text on. And when you opened it, the keyboard was actually quite big and equally hard to text on. So, I decided pretty quickly the fold was not for me, but I didn't want to leave Samsung because I really thought their video features, like their 8K video and everything like that, was really, really good, and I shouldn't let it go. So I wanted to sort of give the S25 Ultra a go. And I know, look, I'm in a world of content creators, and people that know what they're doing when it comes to content, when it comes to videoing, photos, etc. And there's a small percentage of us in the creator field that use Samsung. But so I kind of think to myself, well, that kind of means that Samsung's pretty much quite elite, really, when you think about it. And let's not overlook the fact that Samsung offers 8K video, which means a lot on one hand, and then on the other hand doesn't mean a lot because Instagram and all the other platforms compress everything, So when you do go to upload everything to, when you do go to upload everything, it does get compressed and the quality is kind of, blah. So anyway, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But and also the other thing I'm going to say is that when you see someone videoing on an iPhone and then you look at the actual screen, the screen looks fantastic, colourful, vibrant, amazing. And then when you look at Samsung and the screen in which it's being videoed, it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing, which is a little bit of a letdown. But I don't know why that is, but when you upload and everything, the quality of Samsung is actually beautiful and schmick. I'm just going to say a few points about the swap over if anyone is thinking about the swap over. The only thing you're pretty much going to miss when you leave Apple is because they really suck you in the beginning. They suck you in, they get you into the ecosystem in such a way, you are woven so deep into that ecosystem that you just think, how am I going to get out? All my friends are on it. What am I going to do? And yeah, you do feel a little bit lost at first because you're like, how am I going to iMessage anyone? How am I going to do everything? But there are ways around that, like literally ways around that. So obviously now we've got a million platforms. We can message each other on all these platforms. So you won't really feel it if you stick to messaging on Instagram or WhatsApp or stuff like that. So you will not feel it. Also, if you stick to things like, because I felt like I was getting burnt by Apple and I felt like I was getting like, I don't like being told where I need to do things. Like, so Apple was always like, sort of like pushing the fact that you need to do everything on Apple, upload to the Apple iCloud, upload to this. I don't want to be sort of like told that. I don't really want to conform to things like that. So I would always make sure I do everything on Google. Everything on Google Photo, Google Pics, Google Drive, Gmail address, everything like that, because I just want the freedom to move wherever I want to move and where it suits me at the time. I don't want to be bound to anything, any company. So if you do things like that, you can switch phones, and it was pretty hassle-free. And also, if you do switch phones, Smart Switch makes it so easy. Like you'll just download the Smart Switch app, put your phones close together, and all my apps came over. It was literally so easy. So, okay, so the ecosystem, probably the only thing you might miss. So I still do have a MacBook and an iPad, and that's fine for now. So when time comes to upgrade, I'll see where I'm at, and I might, just get a normal laptop and a normal tablet. I don't know, but we'll see, because I'm one of those people, I love change. I know I'm really weird. I love change, but yeah, you never know. Like, I might want to go back to Apple in 5 years. I might want to stay with Samsung. But for now, usually in the past, I've known pretty much in the first 6 months, like, yeah, I think I'm going to swap back to Apple. Just haven't had that feeling lately. I have not. Because, for example, the other day, I had to, like, say for business, Samsung is so good. So I had to sign this contract, and I had to, like normally with Apple, you would have to download an app, do the fill-in sign form, and then send it back using whatever, that app, or download it to your phone. But with Samsung, I just had to save it as a PDF, sign the PDF, and send it. It's like, it was just so much more simplified and easy. And then when it comes to attachments for files that people might send you, you just upload them to Google Drive and they're saved. Like, so say I've bought an app and I want to save that receipt for that app so that I can give it to my accountant. I'll just upload that straight to my Google Drive where I save everything for my accountant, and easy, done, so quick. I don't need any extra apps or anything like that. It's just so like business friendly. So I know I'm going to have my Apple users listening to this going, oh, Apple can do all of that. Well, where is it? Where is it? I never did all this stuff when I was with Apple. Show me, where is it? So anyway, I know that pretty much everyone in my circle is still Apple. So I'm just going to look at Samsung and the few, I call them my Samsung sisters now. And I'm just going to look at us like an elite group that we just get it. We just get it. We know. So, and look, a couple of my peeps in the Apple world, they just hate the fact, especially when you work in content, in creation, they just hate the fact they can't airdrop to me anymore. So I don't know. I haven't figured out an easier way around that yet, but I think maybe Google Drive at this point might be the only thing. There was another thing I discovered, but it's still, if you have got a friend who's not that tech savvy, it was a bit tricky to figure it out. So I think Google Drive might be the quickest thing to, to do at this point in time. If I find anything else out, I'll let you know. But I did ditch Apple for the Samsung S25 and I haven't looked back. Let's get on to a massive event I had on just a few days ago. And I'm going to say this is probably the biggest event I've done to date. So this media event was for the opening of Pancho's Mexican restaurant at their new location in Fremantle in Parry Street. And honestly, we had, I would say, over 250 people there. Pancho's really turned it on. The event was from 6:45 to 9 o'clock. And I thought, great, that's heaps of time. And I thought, well, after 9 o'clock, they'll probably turn off the food, probably maybe 8 o'clock, the drinks, maybe 8:30. Because, sometimes we go to a lot of events as creators and quite often you don't really get a lot to eat and you don't get a lot to drink. There could be a Macca's run on the way home. I can say there certainly is when you go to balls these days, you don't get a lot of food and you're paying $300 a ticket. Now, let me just say, this Punches event, there was that much food. I was talking to people by about 8 o'clock at night and they were going, I am so full, Bernadette, I'm going to burst, like literally. So that was music to my ears. As an Italian girl, music to my ears. Pancho's turned it on. Cocktails were flowing, like to the point where we had all these different cocktails throughout the night. And there was even a separate spicy margarita, like little separate bar that had fresh chilies in, my mouth's watering, fresh chilies in every single glass, spicy coating around the top, every single glass. These were going till, the event finished at 9, these were going until 10 o'clock at night. Everyone had the best time. It was the biggest event I've ever done, and I just have to say this is the best event of the year. I feel like I've said that for one other event this year, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for Mexican food. My mouth is literally watering. I'm just like, it was so good. But and I really feel like I had such a good mix of people to this event. I had the right people, the right influences at this event, and I feel like you know that because the minute I got home, there was like stories going up, there was reels going up, there was like everyone going, thank you so much for a great night. Like, honestly, the team did such a great job. Every single staff member was so good. Anyway, you just know when it's been a great night, and you've got to get down there. If you love Mexican, you've got to get down to Frio. The Vic Park one is amazing as well. Love it. Always loved it. Loved it for years. But if it's the first time you've seen or heard of Mexican in Freo, this is the this is the Mexican to go for. I've had other Mexican in Freo, and this is the one. This is the one you got to go to. And funnily enough, when I was putting the event together, I had a few people reach out going, oh no Joondalup, like we haven't got any Mexican in Joondalup. Tell the owners we need. Like literally came from multiple people. So, and I did, funnily enough, I did. I told the owner, I got introduced to the actual owner as I walked in the door, and he goes, don't worry, consider it done. So that was good. Yeah, so this was the biggest media launch I've ever curated. Over 250 people, the right mix of media, the right mix of influencers, and the buzz was unstoppable. Okay, let's move on to Chicks at the Flicks. Now, this Chicks at the Flicks was a big, bold, beautiful journey starring Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. I do believe I mixed it up last time and said Colin Firth. Two very different people. I was so looking forward to this movie, so looking forward. And the actual night itself was massive because we had 3 big groups of people coming through. That night, I think there was 96 FM, there was the Sony group, so you had all the influencers, you had, you had all the influencers, you had, and then we had the Chicks at the Flicks audience as well. So it was a pretty packed crowd, but yeah, like when it came to, I actually thought this was going to be a really, really, really popular movie, but I was super excited. It just goes to show, like, you can be super excited about something, but then other people are like, what movie? Anyway, everyone I've asked what they thought about this movie has had the same reaction. It's been like, I was expecting a little bit different. And honestly, that's the reaction I had. I thought it was going to be like some cute rom-com with a little bit of depth to it and stuff. But I ended up finding it a little bit slow. Not in the beginning, just at the end. And then I found, without giving too much away, and then I found it just ended just like that. In the beginning, there was a few things that happened which were quite strange, and I thought, that's okay. It's going to come back to this because this is going to equal that. And I had thought so deeply about this, having the analytical Virgo brain that I've got. I was like, I know, mate, I know. This is going to mean that. No, it didn't. It actually didn't. It didn't mean anything. So I was expecting it to be super, super, super deep with all this meaning, but it wasn't. But I will say that it did make you think about all your life choices that you've ever made in your life that have led up to this point. And I guess if you had the opportunity to change them, would you, and how would you change them? So it did make you think, and it did make you assess, Yeah, so look, Chicks at the Flicks is always a vibe. It's always fun. If you've never been to Chicks at the Flicks before, we've always got like a whole heap of stall holders there, like small local businesses, including like beautiful, oh my God, we had these beautiful candles there. They look good enough to eat. We had loaded cookies. We had earrings from Loeb and Behold. We had these beautiful knitted products. That was so cute. We had some Arbonne goodies, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and then not to mention that when you go in the cinema, you get these fantastic goodie bags filled with makeup, skincare. So it's always worth the ticket to come and see a great movie. And whenever we host a night like that, myself and Alexander, whenever we host a night like that, we're always giving away prizes on the night as well. So you just have to answer some easy, silly questions, and you'll win either like a candy bar voucher or another movie ticket to go and see the next Chicks at the Flicks, which is great. But yeah, so look, the movie was good. I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie. It was good to see Colin Farrell back on the screen. He's aging quite well, I should say. And they did have a great chemistry together, actually. It was good to see. What else can I tell you about the movie before I move on? Yeah, no, I think it was pretty good. Did make you think. I wouldn't have minded it being a little bit deeper. And there were some things in there I just couldn't explain at the end of it all. But still not bad. I think I'm going to give it about a 6.5 out of 10. About a 6.5 out of 10. All right, we're going to move on to the Boobalicious Ball. I had a massive night the other night, a couple nights ago at the Boobalicious Ball. Now, I haven't been to one for a little while. I think it's been a couple of years since I've been. And it was actually fantastic. I went to support my friend Nicola, who was modelling in the parade. And I've got to say, the moment that we got there, the moment that we got to the ball and it started, it was party time. Like there was parade, like there was no introduction to the ball. It was just like the parade started, and I'm not talking like parade with just a few models walking down the catwalk. Like there was like, I would say 15 models, or maybe it was about 5 or 6 models, and then like there was dancers all down the side of each runway. So yeah, that was such a vibe. It was amazing. So we had all that going on for about an hour and a half. Then the MC came out, and then the speech, and then it was full on dancing. Like everyone got up on the catwalk and just danced and danced and danced. It's very tricky when you're doing a podcast with dogs and things going on around you. It is very tricky, but we're just going to try and work through it. It's like I've got toddlers again with these 2 moodles, like honestly. But it was all glamour, all sparkle, and great, obviously supporting Breast Cancer Care WA. So charity all wrapped up in one. And we know how to throw a party here in Perth. We know how to throw a ball. We love, and I would say there would have been about 500 people there on the night. And the auction went really well. Zhivago, I think there was like 12 Zhivago dresses being auctioned, and all of them went for $27,000. People were just putting their hand up like it was no problem at all. So we know how to raise money as well. So one thing I'm going to say though is, what is it with these new, like we used to have media boards. When you go into a function, you have a media board, you have your photo taken out the front of the media board by a photographer, you take your own photos. I even bring my own light. Hello, I'm a creator, I'm a content creator, I'm in the biz. I'm in the media biz. And a girl likes to be lit with a light. Now, so I bring my light. Now they've got these new digital media walls. I'm not a fan. So imagine like a digital TV. Imagine you standing in front of a TV and then getting one of your friends to take a photo of you who doesn't have a light. That was every single person there at the ball. 500 people at the ball lining up. There was a queue to take photos, and they're standing in front of this media wall. They're getting people to take their picture. And so they just look like a big shadow with this beautiful lit media board saying Boobalicious behind them, but they are a complete dark shadow, which I thought was completely pointless. So then I get up, I do my photo, lit with the light I'm using today, and I still can't really see my face. So I'm just going to say that one thing. If people are setting up events, I honestly believe that, media board or media digital display have some good stage lights, because you want your function to be promoted. You want people to take photos and go, wow, that's an amazing photo. Oh my God, I look amazing. I'm going to post it. Instead, if people just look like dark shadows, they're not really going to post it. Anyway, that's me on a rant, because when you're in content creation, these are the things, and when you're a Virgo, these are the things you just want to pick on. You just want them to be better. I want better. Anyway, now, I was thinking the other day, I think I'm going to end on this because, I was thinking the other day, what happened to Risa Teesa? Do you remember Risa Teesa from TikTok? She started okay, let me just recap this. Her real name is Teresa Johnson, right? So earlier this year, she dropped a 50-part TikTok series called Who the Did I Marry? Okay? Who the F did I marry? Now, this was over 8 hours of storytelling about her marriage to compulsive liar she nicknamed Lesion. It went absolutely viral. More than 400 million views. And her following exploded from 8,000, which is still pretty good, actually, to millions. She's since signed with CAA. I don't know who that is. She's appeared on Good Morning America and Tamron Hall. And there's even a Hollywood adaptation in the works with Natasha Rothwell, which I thought was coming. I thought if they don't make a series out of this, because they could blow this out of the water. This is such a good storyline. It's going to do so well. I can see a Netflix series coming for sure. But here's the kicker, right? So this can prove that social media actually does not always pay. She revealed that she made less than $5,000 from TikTok itself. Now, most of the videos weren't eligible for monetization, and she even got suspended from the Creator Fund for 30 days. Now, I think the reason behind that was because she kept repeatedly reposting some videos. So I actually don't know the rules around that, but obviously maybe you cannot repost something multiple times. And maybe, I don't know why she did that, but maybe she thought it would do better for her. I'm not sure. But anyway, now she's focusing on healing. She's bought her own home, which is, if you've watched all her stories, you'll know that's a big deal for her. And she's looking at bigger projects like a book, maybe a podcast, and of course, the scripted series. So don't forget, she went from 8,000 followers to over 400 million views with one story. But the real shock is she made less than $5,000 on TikTok. And that's one thing I think I'm going to say is on TikTok, it's such a down-to-earth platform. I feel like we can just hop on there and just say our day-to-day, say our stories, speak to an audience. Whereas, of course, on Instagram it feels a little bit more polished, a little bit more refined. And that's all she did. No airs and graces, no bells and whistles. She just would get on there and start telling a story like she was talking to her girlfriends, and she just went absolutely viral. So yeah, but I just wondered what has happened to her. I look forward to a series coming out, a book coming out, an audio book coming out from her soon. I'd love to hear more, and I love to sort of like go back on these people from the past and just see, where they are now, what they've been doing. I just, love to do that. So if there's anyone else you're wondering about, let's dive a bit deeper and figure out what they're doing now. Okay, so that's episode 56, from soirees to sports and viral TikToks. Don't forget to hit the follow so you never miss an episode of The Buzz. And a little tease for you next week, I'll be diving into the brand new Netflix series Black Rabbit, which, can I just say, I just finished tonight, so I'm not going to divulge anything, but I think next week what we're going to do, we're going to talk about Black Rabbit, plus we're going to talk about The Girlfriend on Prime, 2 shows that everyone is really buzzing about. Don't want to give any spoilers away, but The Girlfriend is fantastic. So if you haven't already watched it, please watch it before you listen to our next episode. And until then, keep sparkling and stay fabulous.